The point to go into a memory competition is to do your best. That might be breaking a record, being a memory champion, or getting a personal best score overall. And so you want to set yourself up to get that best score, being the champion or breaking that record. So what you have to do is you have to be strategic once you go into a memory competition. Now, all the events, they kind of vary on how they're structured. Some events you only do in one time, so you got to make sure that you nail it in that one trial that you get. Others, you have 2 trials. For example, that is cards, speed cards, and numbers. You have 2 trials. And so what you have to do for these ones specifically is I like having a safety score. So one trial I go, let's say it's numbers for example. And so I go and memorize the amount of numbers I know I could do comfortably, that the chances of me messing up is very low. And so that's my first trial because it gives me a baseline. Then the second trial, I'm able to push myself either to break that record or just to get a higher score for myself. And so that's something you should do and figure out ahead of time. So when you're actually training, you're figuring out, okay, so my safe score for cards might be a minute 30. And so when you're training and preparing for a competition, you already have that figured out. And then when you get better over time, you're like, okay, now the competition is like 2 weeks away. Currently, I can get a deck of cards in a minute. Solid, pretty confident. And so when I go to the competition, guess what? I'm going to go for the first trial, go for 1 minute. After that, I might go for 45 seconds, 40 seconds. So it kind of depends on what your best score you've gotten so far is, would be the second trial, where you're trying to push to match that. But the first trial is to kind of go for a score that you know is safe, because if you go twice for a score that's really good, so maybe a minute you're solid, 45 seconds, man, it's kind of iffy. So you do that for both trials and you mess up, guess what? You don't even have a good score at all. Getting a deck in 5 minutes is better than getting no deck in 45 seconds. And so you really do want to plan out when you can and figure out your safety scores for your different memory events, and then which ones you can really push. Because for the most part, cards and numbers, I believe binary too, when you have 5-minute binary, you have 2 trials. And so you really do want to figure it out ahead of time. Okay, what's the safety score? Then how much can I push to kind of get some extra points here and there? So hopefully you enjoy this video, and I'll see you next time.